What's up, everybody? It's Thursday. Welcome to Sydney Sweeney's Boobs.
Yay!
Oh,
They look comfy.
I guess. I mean, she's a cute kid. I don't see what the big deal is, though. I don't know, man. But I'll say this. It is Thursday, but this weekend is a special event. Our old buddy, old pal, Andrew's daughter is getting married. So I'm going to be going to that wedding, of course. So tonight is, instead of lore games, we are doing Nerd Den on Thursday. So, and I think Andrew will be showing up. He's just, I guess he's running some errands. Don't know why. It's not like running a marriage or a wedding is a big deal or takes a lot of time or effort. It's not like he's had time to plan or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Once you've seen one wedding, you've seen them all.
Oh boy.
Yep, and we're getting off to a good start. All right. So how you guys doing?
Yay!
Yeah. Lore.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing good, man. I've been kind of working nonstop on this comic book for WAGME, and we're
Can't
almost
wait for y'all to see it. It looks excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. We also just started colors this week, so
awesome.
I'm expecting some. I haven't seen anything yet. I mean, it's just getting started, but I'm expecting to see some really, really cool artwork like next week. So I think I'm very, very excited about it. It's going to be really, really cool. Yeah, I'm very, very stoked. We got a good colorist, so and a good letterer. Like we've actually have a pretty strong team. I don't mind being the weak link on this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I get supported by everybody else. It's fine. Everybody else can make me look good. But yeah, it's been good, and we started to tease some of the artwork on Twitter or X or whatever the hell they call it nowadays, and it did really well. Like it trended pretty hard, actually. I think last time, what is it, Dusty? Like we got like 5,000 views on it or something.
Yes.
Something like that. It did really well. We got a lot of messages. We got a lot of positive feedback. And people seem to be very excited by it. Let's see. It has 6,979 views. Here, I'll share it. Let's look at it together. There we go. So this is the preview. This is when Avery was doing an in-progress pick. And this was the very first screenshot of it, right? The very first sample. And we got 6,979 views, 26 comments, 60 retweets, 87 hearts, 3 bookmarks. So it's pretty good, man. It's probably like the best. It's probably the best post we've ever done.
Yeah.
It's good art,
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, but it's also a good partnership. So
yeah,
good art, good partnership. I think people are responded pretty well to it. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I'm very stoked. And yeah, we should be. I think we'll be done with production of I'll be done with my side in about. I've got about 3.5 weeks tops left, which is great. I'll be ready to take a break after that. But yeah, so it's coming down the pike, man. It's good, and I can't wait to see it done, and we'll see what we do next with it. I mean, once we have this in the can, it's going to be really, really cool. I'll be really interested to see what WAGME wants to do with it. So it's pretty cool, and yeah, and so that is that, and so we got some good stuff to talk about tonight, man. I mean, just chilling and stuff. Zach was talking about he was interested in what they're doing with Wonder Woman. We could talk about that. I've been looking at a lot of artistic styles lately, so I have an artist that I like to spotlight. I just personally discovered him. He's been around for a while, but I just personally discovered him. And go ahead.
I actually have a couple stories to tell, but I'll leave it with your discretion.
Oh, whatever. And yeah, so I mean, I've the whole comic book thing. Like, you tend to know pretty much all of the really good artists because especially if you've been around it for a while. And yeah, I feel like I've discovered a new personal artist. Like that hasn't happened in, I mean, honestly, like a long time. Well, no, that's not true. There's been a few every couple of years. There's someone who I'm just like, wow, this person's really good. Like, I think the last one for me was this guy Dan Mora, who is a really good artist. Have you seen Dan Mora's stuff?
Probably,
yeah. He did. Oh my God, what's the name of the book? Good Lord, it's a really good title. Hold on. It's Come on, what's the title? Of course, I put his name in. He's done so many books now that it's like
Dan Mora Chavez.
No. Dan Mora, Mora. He does. Oh my God, it's an indie book. It's really fucking.
Not the guy that works for DC.
Yeah, he does stuff for DC now too. Yeah, but his book Once in Future was awesome. It was so good. It was like kind of like a slightly more animated Jim Lee, kind of. It was really good. Anyway, so yeah, I found a new artist who I'm kind of like, oh, I may have to really look at this. But we'll see. It's always, I have some things because I've been working on this book. Like, I'm really inspired, of course, and like I want to try a bunch of new things. I'm ready to experiment a little bit. So, anyway. So, Zach, you wanna tell us about your what do you got going on?
Well, two things. The first one's kind of a personal story. So, as I probably mentioned every one of these things, getting pretty close to public. I've got my book scheduled for publication on the 16th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to have ARCs out, advanced reader copies out to anyone who wants them by the end of next week. I meant to have them at the end of March, but that was probably a little too optimistic as far as scheduling goes. And I've already got the ebook version up for pre-sale. So I spent pretty much all this week trying to get the. I wanted to have, like, in addition to the ebook, a hardcover and paperback version available for sale as well, because that's actually a pretty good sales technique. Because they're always more expensive, and then the ebooks are always cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, and Amazon, they do POD, print on demand. But POD is always more expensive than regular printing, because you're literally paying for one copy at a time. So the bulk pricing doesn't count in.
Yeah.
And Amazon's markup on POD books is ridiculous. So what I had was about a 527 page book,
mm-hmm.
in hardcover, properly formatted, 8 inches by I think 11 inches in width and height. Had some color images inside. Guess how much an individual copy costs?
From Amazon?
Yeah. Now, we'll guess what the minimum price that they want to charge is.
I'm gonna guess. Well, so I'm gonna guess it's kind of outrageous. So I'm gonna say $15.
Try $78.27, which if I had selected it would have given me a royalty of 15 cents.
Why is it so much?
Probably because it's a full size hardcover that's over 500 pages long, and it has like color images in it. So so it's retailing at $99. Although I'm probably not gonna show it because that would just be like what that would be. That's just, I'm pretty sure that would just scare people away. So I mean I have a collector's edition of the Lord of the Rings that I bought back in like '99.
Mm.
No, actually, I bought it back in like '94. It was like $20 at the time, which is like $40 today, and it's on high quality cream paper, beautifully bound, leather cover and case.
Right.
And yeah, so I know that's going to work. I'm almost scared to see what they're going to do with the paperback.
That's crazy, dude. That's so much.
I know. I mean, that's the thing is that most paperbacks that I've sold through Amazon, usually they retail around like $11, but those are like 200-300 page like black and white books. So the paperback version of this novel, because it's such a monster, it's like, I mean, the initial version is like over 1,000 pages, which I'm pretty sure is like above the limit that they allow.
Mm.
So yeah, good times. But but we'll see. I mean, I should have everything ready to go by end of next week. And then it's just gonna be a straight up marketing push. I'm not even gonna be writing anything. I'm just gonna be like, every day it's like, okay, what new and low cost way can I think of to push this freaking book so that when it finally launches, it actually sells.
Right.
So if you want this thing to sell. So any ideas? More than happy to hear them.
Yeah. Well, I know what we can do, and we'll talk about this later. But I'm sure with like preview copies and all that, if you want to give the adult fantasy community like opportunity to read it,
absolutely, yeah.
I'm sure there's a few people in there that would love it.
All right, absolutely, of course. And the second thing I wanted to bring up, so apparently there's a new scandal out. There's a new, I don't want to call it a scandal, more like the sort of thing that makes commentators like froth at the mouth, because, for good reason, regarding Wonder Woman. And I'm going to share a link to you guys.
All right.
Well, I will. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Yeah, and this is courtesy of our good friend Tom King, who I guess like not satisfied with wrecking Batman, is now moving on to other DC properties. And yeah, so what he basically did was there it is. So basically, he had this villain who's basically cosplaying as actual Satan, and is basically trying to brainwash Wonder Woman or Diana into basically being like a caricature version of a trad wife, properly submissive and all that. And he's quoting biblical scripture to justify it. And of course, the end of it is basically Wonder Woman essentially renouncing Christ, Christianity. Basically, it goes about the way you would expect.
Yeah. I'll read the article here. It says, former DC Comics artist David Williams, who's an awesome artist, by the way, announced his boycott over Tom King's anti-Christian Wonder Woman series. David Williams, a former DC comic artist who worked on Suicide Squad and Justice League of America, announced he is boycotting the company following Tom King's anti-Christian Wonder Woman series. So for those that don't know, Tom King wrote his original, the first books he actually did were really good. He did a book called Vision that was phenomenal. I thought it's probably one of my favorite graphic novels. After that, it's kind of gone downhill. He did Batman for a long time, for several years, and he basically cucked Batman and made Batman just a whiny little bit. Like, he has a tendency to make his characters really whiny and like all his characters are basically like talking. They're self-inserts for him talking to a psychologist. At least that's what it sounds like. It feels like all the characters are the same, and they're all talking about their problems, and they're all expressing how hurt they are as a person. And am I right about that, Avery?
He's terrible. He ruins everything, dude.
Yeah, he's not good.
Like the Mr. Miracle mini-series he did. It started off so strong.
Yeah.
Then by the end, it's tee-hee, dockside silly eating from the vegetable tray. It's like, dude, do you have to be such a weenie about everything? And this guy's ex-CIA.
Yeah, he's
ex-CIA. And he's the biggest weenie.
And he is a big weenie. In Wonder Woman #8, the most recent issue of King's series, Wonder Woman has been captured by the Sovereign and tied up using the Sovereign's lasso of lies. That's actually pretty important to the story. That he's using a lasso, and it's the lasso of lies, which has the ability to make people believe falsehoods. As the comic progresses, the Sovereign, like the devil tempting Christ in the desert, attempts to break Wonder Woman by quoting scripture. And then here's the actual specific quote. Let's see if I can read this. It's like, it says, can I read it in there? Ephesians, and he gives a quote, and he says, the apostle Paul on husbands and their wives. Wives, be subject to your husband as you are the Lord. You are to the Lord. For a husband is the head of a wife, just as Christ is the head of the church. Or one must add, as the sovereign is the head of the nation. And so it doesn't stop there.
It's very
Wonder Woman would continue to resist the mental torture, and the Sovereign would continue to quote scripture. However, it appears that King and the DC editorial staff made a mistake, as the Sovereign only quotes whatever, making some quote. I don't know. I mean, he's like pouring wine on her head as he's quoting scripture to her. King does not stop there. He continues to have the Sovereign torture Wonder Woman and uses Christianity as a cudgel for identity politics. King writes, "Why do you think God sent his only son to save us? Why not his only daughter? I doubt it was some random choice. One must consider the intention of the Lord in all things, yes? Personally, I think it's rather obvious. He was gifting us with a message about who can deliver us from our sins and who clearly cannot." The Sovereign adds, "You see who you turn to in a time of desperation, who you rely upon, the good and noble man, be they the Lord or of your beloved Sovereign, they rule you." He just basically goes on. It is not your fault. He says, "It's not your fault, my dear, and it is God's words, God's works, God's will. You cannot save anyone because you are not a son. You poor thing, you are but a daughter, and that, my dear, you shall always believe." Now, I will say, like, before we continue, like, because it's the lasso of lies, you could interpret that to be like him saying that she can't save anybody is the lie. But I can see how Christians would be upset that he's using the lasso of lies while quoting actual scripture, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman then has a vision of her mother, who informs her that Diana never believed her. This allows Wonder Woman to believe that the claim that the lasso of lies cannot be broken is a lie. With this newfound belief, Wonder Woman breaks the lasso that ties her with her bare hands, as she informs the Sovereign, I do not believe your words. I do not believe your God." And that's, I think, where people like got it, because then you're saying the what lasso of lies is about Christianity, and Christianity is a lie, because she says, "I don't believe your God." While the Sovereign, I'll just read this really quick. While the Sovereign is clearly a villain and he's acting like the devil in the desert by quoting scripture, the comic is scandalous because King, in my opinion, is very clearly trying to paint Christianity as evil and associate it with the Sovereign. Not only does he associate Christianity with evil, but he has the hero Wonder Woman outright reject Christ and Christian belief. What do you think about that, Zach?
Well, first of all, I would be a couple things. First of all, the original quote from Ephesians that he listed, it's very much out of context. It's actually the actual quote's a little bit longer, and it also enjoins husbands to basically honor their wives. You know, so, I mean, it's like anything else about looking interpreted in a number of ways, but the way I see it is that it's basically telling men and women be nice to each other, essentially.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
The second thing I'm wondering is the whole idea of him like doing this to like stick a finger in the eyes of Christians. I think we're giving him a little too much credit. I mean, because I think that it's just he just yes he's typical a member of the creative class, so he's probably like left wingish on a lot of his views, but I don't imagine he says he this will show him when he wrote that.
Yeah.
He just wrote it down because he thought of
No. He did mean that. Just don't give him the satisfaction. Don't react.
I just think that I just think first off we have to be careful that I don't think these guys are that clever. I mean,
Tom King knows what he's doing. It's deliberate.
All right.
Don't give it to him.
Well, you know more about it than I do, so I'll defer to your wisdom.
Tom King knows what he's doing.
But the third thing I'm wondering is
it is deliberate.
And if it is deliberate,
don't give him the satisfaction. Just don't react.
But I'm wondering if he did this because he knew it would have all the comic book haters up in arms, which would get news, which would draw eyeballs.
Right. Well, that's probably.
Yes.
I think you just nailed it. Right.
Yes.
I think he's getting
don't react.
Yeah, he's getting press, and so, it kind of encourages. Like
he literally worked for the agency that are the masters of manipulation.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. Don't react.
Yeah. So, and finally, I mean. So that's my thought: is that either he didn't realize what it was doing, or he knew all too well, and he just figured that, maybe the book isn't selling the way it should be. You know what?
None of them are.
Well, you know what? Let's take a shit in the punch bowl and see what happens. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, I'm sure he's a smart guy. He's not an idiot, and I certainly think he had intent. But like, I guess it's also kind of par for the course for him because it's like his writing. I don't know if you could tell, but like that's kind of how he just writes. Like everything is so sappy and like,
yeah,
it's like saccharine writing. It's like, if that makes sense, like it's really just like
and it's all sad and angry and pathetic.
It's all sad. It's all passive aggressive. It's all a little pathetic, and like, and again, like his first book or two was fucking. I mean, look, man. I mean, Visions is like phenomenal. There's a Vision, the Vision, like it's fantastic. It's dark. It's definitely kind of like. I guess it was maybe because like it was this kind of sappiness, but not so refined as he has it now. You know what I mean? Like now everything is kind of the same script. Like what you're getting with the Tom King book. Like it's going to be sappy. It's going to be like kind of ludicrous, and he's gonna try to piss somebody off because that's kind of what he does. You know what I mean? Like he did that with the whole Selena Kyle Batman thing.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I just think, never mind the politics. I just think that's a sign of just bad writing because, it's like shock rock, So, for example, but when we were kids back in the '90s, Marilyn Manson was he was like one of the biggest stars in the world. He was like. And his whole act was based on being, as shocking and scary and vaguely satanic,
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is, his music wasn't really that good. At least I never thought so. I mean, if you just listen to the music by itself, it's like, I don't get it. What's so shocking? It's just generic '90s alt metal. I mean, there's other bands out there that are better than this schmuck. But he was going on stage dressed up like a transvestite, wannabe Hitler. on MTV, and every parent in America was up in arms. And that's a valid approach for getting your art out there. I mean, David Bowie back in the 70s, did the whole Ziggy Stardust, Ziggy Stardust, is he a man, is he a woman, the whole gender bending thing that was associated with glamour.
So are you suggesting that we should all just start cross dressing?
Well, or Lady Gaga showing up to a premiere wearing a meat suit.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is that is a valid approach, but it's ultimately a limited one, because the thing about shock is that it eventually wears off.
Yeah.
It's like what's shocking today is tomorrow is like that's like your fuckboy cousin's like wearing that stuff on the street. Yeah, we all have that guy. We all have that relative where we know that guy. He's like totally he's like a total sneakerhead, total streetwear guy. All that stuff. I forgot the term for it, but
I think fuckboy cousin is a great name. And
yeah,
I think we should.
But the thing is, though, is that that shock always wears off, and what separates the really talented people from the ones who just like are just like basically flashes in the pan, is that they're able to move away from shock, from being shocking to like actually doing something good. Right. So like Bowie, take Bowie for example. He after Ziggy Stardust, he kind of like moved away from that, and moved to Berlin and like with Brian, with Iggy Pop, did some of the best albums of his career.
Right.
Lady Gaga is basically becoming like a legit actress now. But Marilyn Manson, he never moved away from that. And what was really shocking and scary when he was like in his 20s. Now he's like a 40-year-old guy who's dressing up like a at this point an aging transvestite Hitler. And it's like it's not scary.
Holy shit! I think that needs to be a new AF character.
Well, and the thing is, it's not interesting anymore. It's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's the thing. It's like it's. I don't want to call it a gimmick.
Yeah.
I guess it is a gimmick, but it's like you get known for, and it was this kind of thing. Like specifically with rock stars, I think it's always funny, and I think Tom King is kind of hitting the same thing where like. A rock star, like there's like, if you ever look at the rock stars of the 80s or early 90s and you look at them now, they have the exact same haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like they're not allowed to like get rid of the hairstyle that they were known for.
Yeah.
So like they just look really strange. Like their hair is too dark now. And
the thing about King is, he spent like, how many years hyping up the marriage between Batman and between Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, and then he basically has her jilt him at the altar,
right?
And that pissed off a lot of people, but it got attention, because you do the unexpected. But if you keep doing that, after a while, it's like, yeah, okay. I mean,
well, it wasn't just that. I think the jilting was a big deal, because that is something like, and I could make a case to say that that's actually really good storytelling. But I think what got people upset, certainly that got fans upset. And, look, fans get upset at fucking everything. So,
yeah, now the wedding album comic is in the Ollies.
Right. Well, for sure. But like I think the thing that really got people upset, and the thing that got me upset, where I was just like, all right, whatever, man, was like he did the whole like she left him at the altar and then basically like cucked him for like 3 years, basically. Like the rest of that run was him saying, "Why won't you marry me? What did I do?" And she's just like, "You're a loser. Go get some help," and that was like, at least that was my interpretation of the rest of his run. And it wasn't, if it was like 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 issues, I would have been, that's okay. But we're talking like dozens of issues where he's just a little bitch.
Yeah, he turned Batman into this mooning sap.
Yeah. And just like, oh my God, dude, like I can't anymore.
Well, The thing is, though, is that I mean, what separates the true artists from the flashes of the pan is that they're able to move beyond that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that I mean, really, honestly, the thing is that looking at this Wonder Woman thing is not that I mean, well, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Wonder Woman, so I mean, like, I kind of look this like, what'd you expect? Typical from the people who run DC.
Right.
But the thing is that it's not that it's happened. What surprised me is that it got the usual outrage videos from like all the usual suspects on YouTube. The guys who like basically make their living railing against the woke, all the woke bullshit around them.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, it's like the sense I'm getting from most people is that it's kind of like whatever. It's because like it's not
like people are just done. Like it's like happened so much that they're just
it's like with Star Wars. I mean, like for one thing, I never understood why so many YouTubers were like were so obsessed with what's essentially like with like corporate politics at Disney as it relates to Star Wars, because it was never gonna fix anything. And now of course there's a bunch of new stuff in the pipe there that's woker than woke. And
have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you seen? This reminds me. Have you seen? Have any of you seen? And I can't play it because I don't want to get struck. Have any of you guys seen the new Transformers 1 trailer? The movie.
I heard.
Yeah. It's very mediocre.
Mediocre. Oh my god, dude, it's terrible. Like, it's So like it
looks like the Saturday morning cartoons they were doing that are CGI.
Yeah, man. Well, here I'm gonna show the visuals so that we don't get struck here. But like, oh my god, dude! Like, holy smokes! All right. So you see this? It's Chris Hemsworth. They got an all-star cast. Whatever, they're cracking jokes, and then like, but bro, it's a buddy movie, dude. It's like, oh look, it's Optimus and Megatron as kids before they were enemies, and they're like best buddies. They argue and they hate each other, but they love each other. And this is gonna be, I guess, the story of how they started to hate each other. But the whole fucking thing is like a buddy movie between Optimus and Megatron, and I'm like, that is the worst idea I have ever fucking heard, like ever. It's just
what really scares me about this is that somewhere someone's writing fanfic where they're more than just buddies.
I'm sure.
And which like physically, how does that happen? I mean, where does it go?
It's just, I mean, maybe they'll do something good with it, but like, it doesn't have to be like they're buddies and they knew each other. Like, why can't they just like have been enemy factions? Like, they have to go on an adventure together and they're friends. Like, it's just terrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it's like, the games are so good and this is so bad. I don't know, man. I'm just really disappointed. Like, I don't totally give a shit, but because I'm 48 years old, but like,
Well, obviously you do give a shit because you're showing it right here.
Shut up, Zach. Shut up. It's just I don't know. I'm sure for kids it's gonna be fine, whatever. But like, the idea that they're like, it's just this weird buddy movie where things go wrong, and of course at the end like they fight each other and stuff, and I don't know, man. I can't even. It's just so stupid to me. Like it's just really dumb. And like I don't understand like I didn't know that Autobots and like the Transformers grew up, like they were kids and they grow up. Like I just thought they were kind of the age that they were made.
Yeah, I never really understood the lore behind that, to be honest. It's funny. If you ever watch Netflix, there's like that show, The Toys That Made Us, and there's an episode about Transformers and how, and basically, they show Larry Hama, well, they have actors recreating, Jim Shooter, like trying to find someone at Marvel One to write it.
Yeah.
and they brought in Larry Hama, and he wrote like most of the lore. When you ask him about it, he's like, whatever. To me, it was just a job. So he doesn't, he has like, I have no ownership over this.
Yeah.
It was a job. I did it. I moved on. Whatever.
Which is crazy because was it Larry Hama or was it Shooter that named all the Transformers?
No, it was. I think it was Hama actually. I think no, there was another guy who was involved, and he named all the well. Again, as I understand it, the Transformers they began as completely different kinds of toys at Bandai.
Right.
It's like with the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers were originally Super Sentai.
Right.
And some American producer licensed all the fighting footage and basically hired a bunch of actors to like fill in the spaces in between.
Right.
And Transformers began as toys in Japan. I mean, and an American I don't know who it was whoever got the U.S. rights, and they needed to sell it, so they decided to make it. They decided to like make a world around it. And that's what they brought in Marvel, and there's a funny scene where they show Jim Shooter trying to find people at Marvel to do it. No one will because doing toy lines was considered low status as opposed to like doing actual comic books.
Right.
And Larry Holland did it because honestly he was trying to make his name.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been another guy involved who actually named a lot of the characters, but I think it was Hama who wrote like most of the early storylines and came up with like the whole idea of the war between like Autobots, Decepticons, Cybertron, et cetera, et cetera.
Which makes sense because he's like Mr. G.I. Joe. So
yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hey Flint.
Hello.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
What the hell? What's been going on in like the world of anything new in the world of games or anything?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just putting you on the spot to put you on the spot. It's fine.
Man, I don't know.
Cool.
Hades 2 apparently did some sort of alpha or something, which people are super excited about. Haven't played it, but one was pretty good. People seem to be really into Helldivers, but I haven't played it. I haven't had time to play anything. I'm so behind.
Are you still doing your GM stuff?
Yeah. In fact, I am DMing another game.
Oh my god! You're just okay. Wait.
I have a problem.
I'm gonna let you finish. What? So continue.
Yeah, no. I have some friends that played Baldur's Gate 3, which is excellent, by the way.
Okay, cool.
And we're like, we want to play D&D now.
Oh,
hey,
shit.
Flint, you DM, right? I'm like, hell yeah, I do. Let's go.
Yeah, and that game's been awesome. Been really enjoying that so far. So yeah.
Well, how many games are you running now? Just curiosity.
Running, playing, or both? Those are very good numbers.
Fair question. Let's say both.
Okay, well, let me think. This is going to take a sec. Hold on.
So bad.
I run 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm in 7 games right now.
Oh.
Which totally normal and fine,
And just
now, granted, those aren't weekly. I'm not
okay. Well, that was my next question.
Yeah.
My next question, man. You got to clarify that. I'm just making sure.
I would not sleep or eat if I had 7 games a week.
Well, I'm curious. In your mind,
Yeah.
What is at what point do you become a professional GM to where GMing is kind of your full-time job and whatever you do during the day is just kind of like a thing?
Ooh. Well, I'd say first I'd have to quit my job, but I've already done that, so get paid doing it, I guess. Also, I forgot one, so it's 8. But I don't have a problem. It's fine. My life balance. My life is perfectly balanced, and everything's fine.
You know, I mean, who needs balance?
Perfectly balanced like a Bethesda game.
Exactly. And no jank whatsoever.
It's not a bug; it's a feature.
Hey, Clint, what do you think about the current scandal regarding the latest Star Wars game? Apparently, like they how do I put this delicately? They uglied up they basically uglied up the main character.
Well, one, I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know, but in general, that sort of thing doesn't really bother me. I don't know. I feel like I'm on the development side of things, and I feel like the developer's intent is kind of key, and they should be able to make the characters how they want to make them look.
I think personally they're just some people, and I fully include myself among them, who spend way too much time on the internet.
Agreed.
I honestly didn't even know there was a new Star Wars game coming out.
Yeah, I think it's called Star Wars Rogue or something like that. The problem. I think the big complaint people are having right now is that it's like with Star Wars like Jedi Exile, whatever it was, like the Cal Kestis games. They got an actual actor, or in this case an actress, to like basically be the model for the CGI character. And the actual actress is like really, really pretty. She's good looking. She's an actress. But apparently, the people who created the game, they basically downgraded her looks. I mean, and it looks bad. I mean, it like the CGI, it looks like really janky and bad. But when they're interviewed about it, they said they did it deliberately because they believe it advanced the cause of social justice. I guess is what got all the Gamergators up in arms. Although at this point they don't really need an excuse to be angry about anything because the industry keeps giving them like so many reasons to be angry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm of the point of view that not every game character needs to be supermodel pretty or ripped abs or whatever. I'd rather make them look like people,
Right.
And if the intent behind the character is like yeah, we kind of want it to look like this person, but we kind of want it to look a little less like that person too. Like I'm fine with that. I don't think
it's really. I guess it really just does come down to it.
Yeah, I don't think for one, there's technical practicalities of why you might not want your character to look exactly like the model, but two, like it's just about intent. I think the studio's and the artist's intent is more important than what angry people on the internet might say about it.
Well, the thing is, I've always been more interested in strategy games anyway. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Crusader Kings 3, and I've yet to finish a single game of that because I always get bored and start over.
I've been meaning to play that game.
It's good. It's like a lot of Paradox games. It's really like text based. I mean, it's not.
I'm cool with that. I even own it. I just I'm your classic PC gamer. I've got a shitload of shit in my Steam library, and I haven't gotten to even half of it.
Well, I'm just waiting to see what happens when they start pairing that stuff with AI. I mean, because that'll be cool because you can literally have like your own personalized game, which in my case would probably include a lot of stuff that I couldn't mention on the stream because Todd would freak out about getting banned. All I will say is that it will involve multiple violations of any number of health codes.
That's from Sri.
Good.
Yeah, I think there's definitely right now in the games industry,
Really where LLMs are coming in is on the software development side. There's a lot of AI assistance happening in like how you write code. And that's been huge. And I'm interested to see where it goes on the creative side, as far as like, go randomly generate an NPC and then generate the dialogue for them,
Right.
and expand the scope of the game that you're making.
I
think that's interesting.
There's a lot of companies that have been working.
Well, there's actually something like that out there already, but it's actually a you've heard of a game called Bannerlord, like Mountain Blade Bannerlord?
Yeah.
Well, it's so Mountain Blade. It's a game that's put out by Tail Worlds, which is actually a Turkish company, and they released an updated version called Bannerlord a few years ago. It's very popular, and the graphics aren't the best, to be honest. I mean, it's actually pretty. The graphics are horrendous, but the whole idea is that it's basically an open world game where you start out as a warrior, and you can like essentially build your own kingdom on your PC.
Okay.
Well, the thing that's really popular about it is that it's like Paradox. It's one of those games that's basically designed to be modded. So there's if you go on Nexus, for example, or Steam, there's like mods. There's like thousands of mods available for this game. And some guy actually took the game and paired it with an AI. I don't remember. It's let me look it up. I don't remember which AI mod. Yeah, it's with in-world AI. So you have to it's actually easy to set up. It's actually very easy to set up. I did it. I don't play as much as I used to because I have to work and have a life and I'm trying to write. But what it does is that it actually pairs into hooks into the game, and you can use it to have AI generated conversations with characters in the game.
Yeah.
And they actually remember the conversations apparently, and
that's cool.
So I've heard about this. They're starting to give NPCs AI conversation ability, and
yeah, I've seen people who do that with Skyrim VR.
That's so crazy, man.
There's a game. Have any of you heard of it's called The Finals?
No.
It's a first-person shooter. It's supposed to be really excellent. It's like a multiplayer, competitive shooter thing. I haven't played it yet, but I know, common theme. I haven't played it yet, but I hear it's really good. And the whole bit of the game is it's supposed to be like your players are in an arena fighting each other for people's entertainment. And so they have announcers in the games, and the announcers are actually AI, which is super interesting.
Oh,
yeah. So they hired actors to train the AI models, and so they have a really flexible announcer system describing what's happening in the game. And they can be that flexible because it's AI, right?
Yeah, their trailer is trying to give you a freaking
It sure is.
Epileptic seizure.
Was that Wally?
Probably.
All right.
Interesting. So this is like a generated first-person shooter with AI components.
Yeah, the levels aren't generated, but the voices are.
That makes sense, so that it's always announcing what's going on as you, the player, do the game. That's actually a really good use of it, I think. That's really smart.
Yeah. The game is pushing technology in some really interesting ways, like all over the place. Like you can you'll probably start seeing it. You already are seeing it a little bit at the end of this trailer, but the entire level can get destroyed. Like everything.
Oh, almost like an advanced voxel.
Yeah. Like everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is hard in a single player game. It is astonishing in a multiplayer game.
Yeah, that's wicked.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
It's some real black magic shit what they're doing there. It's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Well, here's the funny thing I read. Here's something interesting to consider. So,
hey, MK. Sorry to cut you off, Zach. Hey, how's it going? Right.
So, when it comes to like DMing a game, for example, we may get to the point actually where you can use AI to essentially play your own personalized D&D game online.
Yeah.
So so the AI will be the DM, and it would also be the other players and the NPC.
I don't even think we're far from that, honestly.
Which to me is kind of scary and a bit sad because
Yeah.
when it comes to my games, I'm old school. I hate playing online. I just don't like. I find it too limiting.
Yeah.
I'm an old school grognard. Sit me down in front of a table, and roll let the dice roll where they may, and so then someone has a free pizza from Domino's, so we all get to eat. That's how I met Todd, for God's sakes. If you remember.
It is true.
So I don't know. I mean, as much as I like this technology, I just think that D&D, it's people. It's actual human beings.
Yeah.
It's like physically in the same space, sitting around the table, and just like in between like fighting, you're just shooting the breeze.
Yeah,
So,
in person's always more fun, in my opinion.
But on the downside, unfortunately, the fact of life is that once you're out of college or once you're no longer a kid, it's not easy to set that up because people are working, people have kids, they have wives, and the weekends are there's always claims on their free time, especially during the weekends. I mean, I spent like a year and a half doing a weekly game in Daytona, and it got to the point where it's like where I was trying to find excuses like during the summer to not to go because I wanted to go to the beach.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I getcha.
It's a brave new world, but I'm not sure where I really how I feel about it.
I think part of my problem too with online games is all the tools suck.
Yeah, I tried using Roll20, and
I think everybody tried to use Roll20.
And the thing is that it's just too damn janky, and
it's so janky.
Yeah. Well, look, we had a friend in New York who was like involved in developing that, so at least I think it was.
Yeah.
Well, it was an open source, so yeah, he was developing stuff like for it, but not like for it. You know what I mean? He didn't work for the company.
The thing is that that's the thing though, is that with like Roll20 or Polar Bear, whatever it is, you can't really like
Owl Bear.
Owl Bear. All right, fine. But the thing is, you can't really like improvise on that because everything has to be preset, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with like with a dry erase mat, I can just draw it out and make shit up as I go along, which is how I like it. Which is how I really like the DM, because that's when like when you're like bouncing stuff back and forth with the players, you come up with the craziest shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one tool that I do use is Owl Bear Rodeo. I can never say it. Wow. And the reason I like it is because I can, like, it has a pen tool, like a good one, so I can draw. And so, like, a lot of times I won't make a map. I just have a blank page and I use it as a whiteboard.
Oh, is it just like you're just using it as like old school graph paper?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's much easier.
The thing is though, is that imagine though, you can like set up your own you could like get your own personal AI, have them run like let's say for example you wanted to run an old school Greyhawk game, or like an old school Mystara game, which is like one of the very first campaign worlds, and that's like we're going back to like the 70s and 80s right now, and you can't find anyone in the real world to play with you, but your AI will play with you and it'll create your characters.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like here's a question. If an AI is like a human, if it responds like a human, and if the relationship you have with it is like a human, and you get the same psychological benefits from it as you would hang out with an actual human being around a gaming table or at a bar,
giggity, is
it actually a bad thing?
I think. I know we're getting real philosophical here, but I think for that sort of thing, like, yeah, maybe you can get the same on paper experience with an AI, but you can't. I don't think you can beat looking the DM in the eyes, and being there. Like, could an AI experience be on par with online tabletop? Maybe, you pair a good LLM with a good voice model, and maybe you get there, eventually.
Well, of course,
but it's missing that human element. It's missing that person in front of you.
See,
and
that's-
that you're
What
in
if you
jokes
hate
and
all people? What if you just hate
well then, Dusty, I got some good news for you.
Well, guys, you do realize that probably like at least half of AI integrated stuff is gonna be at least tangentially porn related. So,
Well, that'll
sure.
probably be where half the inventiveness comes from. They're already doing it. I mean, some of the stuff that they're doing in the adult space for that stuff is fascinating.
what?
Like, I find it like the best, and I think I've talked about this before, but I think it's brilliant. I mean, I think it's kind of genius. Is like these OnlyFans girls are basically, so we all know how they make their money. They make their money in private shows and all that stuff. But what they've started to do is the ones that can afford it, they've started to hire teams, and they've started to record their body and basically deep fake themselves doing all of the stuff that Bob Smith 187 wants them to do. And they're using what's that software 11, the really good vocal one.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
something 11, whatever it is. Like, they're using the AI vocal system, so it's them, their body, their face doing explicit activities with their voice in a personal thing, right? Doing videos, and so now you're at a point where these girls and guys too, who make their money that way, don't actually have to do it anymore. Like, they don't have to do anything. Like, it's just they have a team that basically programs a script, and they have all of these. They have a database of bodies, and so you just deep fake yourself and kind of create an AI that'll do the thing for you, especially with photos. That you can already do it perfectly with photos. It's pretty. I mean, it's funny, but it's also like, wow, man, like there's a lot of, like, within the next 2 to 3 years, like, all of those things are going to go towards AI. They're not going to be real, and you're still going to have this weird buffer period where people like us who are in technology know that it's fake, but a large percentage of the people who buy it don't know it's fake, and then a subset of people who buy it do know it's fake, and that's what they like. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be very, very strange.
Well,
You sound like you've researched this heavily, Tom.
I mean, I genuinely for a minute was like, I was going to be an OnlyFans e-thought.
Well, here's the thing though. I mean, never mind porn. What happens when like, the filmmakers of the future start using this technology to, like, basically go around the traditional film industry, which I think they're already starting to do. I mean, the last strike, the last big writer strike was basically about AI. Right. But the thing is, though, is that, I mean, that's a film industry. That's a bunch of gatekeepers who are just begging to be bypassed. Because imagine this: you use AI and you sync it up with, like, with cutting edge CGI software like Unreal Engine or whatever it is. Or, oh, you okay, buddy? Sorry, cat sneezing. But you sync it up with, like, Unreal Engine or SFM or whatever it is, and it if depending on whatever filters you use, you can actually create stuff that's looks almost real or pretty close to it, and you hook it up with an AI engine that has like a library of, like, human body movements, facial expressions, and so on. You don't use the AI to, like, just to create the movie wholesale. You actually write the script, and you program it to, but then you tell it, I want a car chase scene with these parameters, and then you tweak it a little bit to make it a little more closer to what you want. But because with most 3D animation, it's really time consuming because even with there's a reason why Pixar movies take like 2 or 3 years to make, because it just takes so long to like get like animate everything right, because there's so much scut work. But with the AI, it would basically do all that scut work for you, so you could just focus on the broader thing. And you would have and you could use the vocoder technology to like record the voices yourself, and then just change it so that it sounds like the characters. You could, conceivably like maybe like get a license for like some past. I think I mentioned before, like like a movie where like a young Harrison Ford, and is shooting bad guys with like a young Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it would be like all fake. There would be no live actors. It'd be all completely computer generated. But unless and it would if you looked at it really closely, you could see that it's fake. But most people wouldn't care, because I think the uncanny valley really kicks in when you're like trying to like mingle CGI with real life stuff. That's why, for example, those episodes of The Mandalorian where they had Luke, like a young Mark Hamill in there, that's why it just didn't look right, because it's just like like he looked flat. It was very subtle, but was there, you could tell.
Yeah, but honestly, to your point though, that was also like that was also one of their best reviewed episodes. Like everybody freaked out.
Well, that's because they had Luke Skywalker in an actual Star Wars thing, which
right
doesn't happen very often nowadays.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like that's kind of the point we're making, is like that people didn't care. I mean, everyone knew it wasn't real.
But the thing is, if you could do all that and just do it completely on CGI, so imagine that, like filmmakers of the future, it would lower the bar for like entry into that space, because you wouldn't have to like, go to Hollywood and convince some producer to like convince investors to fork over a couple $1 million for your movie. You wouldn't have to hire actors. You wouldn't have to like hire unionized, techies to work on it. You would need like your own equipment. You probably need like a really high end computer, like a really high end system to like handle the software, and you have to buy the software.
Mm.
But you're talking like maybe like what, $30,000 investment initially.
Who knows?
Which is like a lot, but it's not out of reach for like like just some guy or a couple of guys with a story to tell. And
right.
if you're good at it and your movie makes money, you'll make that back. And then you have your own studio in your own house, and you can basically create anything. After that, everything's pure profit.
Right.
And that's gonna, I think, it's not here yet, but you can see it coming. I mean, it's like that you can already hear the thunder the thunder in the distance. And I have a feeling that anything live action that isn't like actually live, like sports, obviously you can't AI sports, obviously, because it's like an actual event. But anything else that's like that needs like live actors, and that includes porn, is gonna fall by the wayside. It's gonna be like what live theater is now. It'll be a legacy art. That
or I think it'll. I don't know about that. I think you're still going to have a theater system for stardom. So I think what might happen is like you might have these stars and starlets who like get famous doing something. Probably more in games. I don't know, but they'll get famous for something, and then in order for them to, because these actors and actresses only have a certain number of viable years, and it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, men have a longer lifespan in film than women do because of whatever sexism, whatever. But it's there's this kind of expiration date on on anyone's career, and I think what you'll be able to find is an actor or actress will be able to potentially like expand on that by saying, "Oh, this person's, hey, Sydney Sweeney's famous now. Like let's go ahead and get her body modeled and rendered and everything ready, and then that actor, that version of her, can go ahead and start taking jobs while she does other jobs." Do you know what I mean? Like she'll be in a Coke commercial, but it'll be the AI version of her, especially overseas where a lot of these guys make money. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing Pepsi commercials and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the thing is, it's not just like actual actors. I mean, starlets and starlets who have been dead or who are like really old now, that could be a way for them to like essentially be resurrected. I mean, there's always those shows where like Michael Jackson or Prince shows up as a hologram on stage and he's performing to like a recorded soundtrack, right? It could be like that, but like for example, you could conceivably have a movie where Humphrey Bogart stars with Sydney Sweeney and Timothy Chalamet in like Casablanca 2, even though Bogart's been dead for like almost 70 years. So, it's going to be interesting, but see, there's a downside to that though, and we saw this with when self-publishing on Amazon and other platforms came about. Like there's literally no bar to entry. If you have if you have the skills to format your book and upload it to whatever, and it's actually very simple to do, you can publish anything. So anybody can publish a book. That's the good side. Downside, anybody can publish a book.
Yeah.
And Sturgeon's law kicks in. Like 99, I think it's like 99% of everything is crap. And that's true. That's true of a lot of self-published stuff. It's just, well, first off, there's a lot of erotica out there. And some of it's pretty weird. So you got to wonder about the American reading public. There's also a lot of like really generic fantasy, detective, whatever. Basically, Lord of the Rings ripoffs, basically. And there's a lot of romance because romance readers like to read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it's just not very good because the thing about being about gatekeepers is that when they're working right, they actually do act as kind of a filter for shit. So, but now though it's like it's the pure market that acts as a filter. And the thing is that when the market's like overloaded with shit, it's kind of hard to find the diamonds in there. So I'm kind of wondering if that's going to happen with like AI animation or AI related games. Anybody can make a movie. Anybody can like make their own game. And just because you have and a lot of it's just going to be crap.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong at all, man. I also think the next generation I think it's going to be even more bifurcated than the last few generations. Like when we were like, and this is just speaking, I know I'm old, but like when we were kids, or in college or young, I think I can speak for everyone here on this call. Like, you would listen to a band and then you would basically, you kind of could jam with anyone else that like that band. Right. And same thing with gaming. Like, if you're a fan of Overwatch, then you can kind of have a community and kind of have a tribe of people that that you maybe you met a good friend of yours because you guys are both playing Overwatch or something.
Right.
I don't think I think we're actually going to we're entering a time where like when anyone can make content even more so than they are now. The plus side is that we'll probably have like the best. I mean, we'll have the best creativity we've ever seen in the history of mankind. Like we'll have the best games, the best books, right? I mean, of course there'll be a ton of garbage, but we'll have some amazing things. I think the downside though is that there'll be so much stuff that finding your tribe and finding things you have in common with people is going to be a lot harder. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a big challenge. I think it's going to be kind of a like, how do you find people who like the things you like when there's such a variety out there that it's almost impossible to find. Like when everybody can make movies and movie production becomes like the new YouTube, like it's like, oh yeah, I follow the new Steven Spielberg or whatever. Like it's going to be very hard to like, I think, really get human connection back like that, like a real, kind of thing.
I mean, like, what you see is that, with like, for example, with Warhammer 40K, for a long time, and until GW started cracking down on it, there were fans who were using like Unreal and SFM and whatever to make their own fan movies. And there were Star Wars guys who were making their own fan movies, like actual live action fan movies, and they were using like special effects. So it can be done. It's just that, again, because like the bar of entry is so high when it comes to time and effort. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine what this will do to fan fiction, for example?
Well, that's what I mean. Like when fan fiction can have a budget that looks like $100 million film, which is, I mean, we're like 2 years away, 1 year away. Like we're not talking like 30 years. We're talking like tomorrow. Like when that day comes, how do you like it? What's the difference between fan fiction and like just another movie in the space? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think the big one's going to be like who has the legal rights to it, because again, the thing about fan fiction is that you can do it as long as you don't profit from it.
Well, see, that's the thing is I think that's an old. I mean, not to start tooting our horn with adult fantasy or whatever, but I think that's sort of where we come in with like what we're doing is like, I mean, I think the people who are going to win in the future are the people who kind of open source their ideas a little bit to say, hey, you make a fan. Hey, we have the next Star Wars, and it is let's say it's the next Star Wars, and it's blown up and it's huge. And you open it up and you say, you know what? If you want to make a fan film, you can, and people like it, it can be canon. And boom, you're going to have something massive. Like it's just going to be huge,
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, the people I feel bad for though are the ones who are, trying to make it in the traditional industry. Like all those. I just wonder. I wonder if we've been talking about Cindy Sweeney a lot for like two very obvious reasons, and also and some people say I think she actually is a good actress. She's she can hold her own on the screen.
I've never seen her act in anything, and I've only seen a couple.
I've seen her in a few things. She's good. I mean, she's good. She's not like Katharine Hepburn, but she's talented.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering though, if she's going to be like the last generation of actual movie stars, and like I said, because like I said, the future's coming pretty quick. Like 10 years from now, we'll be interviewing her, and she'll have to have moved on to something else because she'll be like one of those guys in like a second tier hair metal band that was hitting their stride just as like grunge came out, and like 2 years later, like the guy's like running like a cleaning like a garbage collection company in Pennsylvania, and he says yeah I was gonna make it, then the world changed.
Or she'll end up owning her own AI company or something like what's his name, Ryan Reynolds, who now is worth like he's like on his way to becoming a billionaire with all the stuff he's got going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, look, I've tried using AI to write. I think I mentioned this before. I mean, it can be done, but with the current, the technology will get better. But my experience with it, it doesn't really work for me. At least with like the stuff I really like, because I'm basically a control freak when I write.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI generates stuff and end up having to rewrite half of it anyway. And with the amount of time it takes I could just write it the old-fashioned way. But I can see it being used for other stuff. Because like if what you're trying to do is just create content and not like actual art,
mm-hmm.
and you want to do it with like the minimum amount of effort possible. I mean, there's worse ways. There's worse ways you can go about it.
This is true.
I mean, I hate to say it, but not everything has to be like your magnum opus. I mean,
sure.
Again, getting back to Larry Hama, that I mentioned earlier. To him, like G.I. Joe and Transformers was basically just a job. He did it and he moved on. Anyway,
wait. Oh, look who's here.
I'm going to shut up now.
No, you're good. That was a great conversation.
Yeah,
hey guys.
But
how's it going, man?
I'm running out of things to say. Andrew, please show us comics.
God, if only I could.
Where are you, and why aren't you on camera?
It's because I'm eating my dinner.
Oh, yeah.
I was just running late, so
nobody wants to see that.
Still eating my Whataburger. Yeah, nobody wants to see that. So yeah.
You can do that. We don't care if you're eating your Whataburger. We love you.
Well,
I mean,
came
personally,
home.
I want to see that.
I came home to find out that my mother-in-law was changing the plans that I had so elegantly set out for my day tomorrow. And don't do that to the father of the bride. Just you wait, Todd. You get it twice.
Yeah. Wow.
Your only hope is that you die young.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate you. So glad you showed up tonight.
Yeah, well, I was going to be in the audience and boost your numbers a little bit, but I decided screw it.
Oh, you're such a dick.
How's
Are you ready? Are you ready for
the daughter and I went out this afternoon. My wife and I picked up the cakes, and then my daughter came over and we went out and picked up flowers and a bunch of stuff to go with all the alcohol, fruit juices and seltzer water and stuff I know nothing about. And we picked up a canopy for the outside for the DJ. And because supposedly he's going to be outside for the wedding and then he'll go inside for the reception. So he needs to be able to be covered, because heaven forbid should he get some sunlight on his face. Whatever, most pampered people I've ever heard in my life. But yeah.
Did you go outside so much?
Yes, I go outside all the time. Why do you think I'm always wearing a hat?
Oh, okay.
But I'm looking forward to it. I got to tell you a funny story. I'll make it brief.
No,
so I'm on a conference call with my boss and the two other people on our team yesterday, right? And we're talking about a new dashboard, a new project that he wants me and my coworker to work on. And he says to me, any chance you guys will have it done by next week? And I said, well, considering I'm going to not be here and she's on vacation, no, we're not going to get it done by next week. And he went, oh, crap, I need to pull up a calendar. So.
Yeah. How many days do you have left?
Technically, well, I have tomorrow off for a vacation day and then next week. And next Friday is also a vacation day. I am going to go into the office in the morning and do a little bit of work because my coworker is going to be on vacation. But then I'm going to say my goodbyes, turn in my equipment, and be done.
Next week is your last week?
Next week's my last week.
Good Lord, time flies, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was 7.5 months ago that I told them.
Dang.
Yeah.
It does go by quick. It feels like only yesterday you were like, yeah, I got 7 months.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is half of me is scared to death. Yeah. And the other half of me is like so looking forward to it. I'm so excited about it coming.
Yeah, that's how it goes,
And I told them all, I said, you guys, when I talk to you all next, I will be the father of a married woman. Wow. That shocks the crap out of me. You guys, Avery and Todd.
And the father to a black man, which is kind of a strange twist of events.
Yeah, well, it's my you can't call me racist card. I'm going to pull it on every chance I get.
I know. I have no doubt you'll be.
Here's a picture of my son-in-law.
I know you'll be using this to its full advantage.
But Todd and Avery were there when my daughter was born. They were around. I don't know if you guys weren't in the room or anything, but you guys were around.
I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
It's very strange. Whatever.
Yeah, I know.
We still got it. We still got it. We're still good.
But how are your travel plans coming along? Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm already getting notices from the missus that I should be sure to come to bed after this is over. Don't stay up late.
Yeah.
She knows I've been working on this comic, and she knows that I've been.
Speaking of which, how's it coming along?
It's coming along good, man. It's here. I'll send you. I have. So in private chat, sorry for everyone who's watching, I can't show it publicly yet. But
don't worry, he won't mind.
In private chat, you're such a dick, Andrew. You really need to stop that.
MK's there somewhere, right?
Just shut the fuck up and go look in private chat.
Okay.
And so don't, of course, not to share this, but hi, MK. MK says LOL. Yeah. Thanks, MK. Appreciate you.
Have I told you guys before? MK is one of my all-time favorites.
I know. Yes. I know.
He's like the top. He's right up there at the very top.
I know. He's an awesome person.
Yep.
I like.
The list is very small, but he's right there at the top.
Yeah. You should just know, everyone, that Andrew is saying this to motivate me to kick his ass. Like, not physically kick his ass, but to motivate me to like get numbers and beat his ass, because I'm going to
Well,
numbers.
I just kicked him to the waiting room there.
I'll bring him back. It's okay. His kids get buried, so
you guys know it's only a matter of time before Todd and anything he does surpasses, and it is coming. It is coming, and I know it to the bottom of my heart that it's going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm only picking on him now because I can.
I know, it's all out of love, and I don't take offense to it. It's just bites. It bites, and it bites.
There's going to be that explosion. It will happen.
I know.
With me and my channel, it's been a slow grind, but with you and your company and what you guys are doing, there will be that explosion. It will happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And there's no telling exactly what it's going to be or when it's going to happen, but it's almost guaranteed it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to being here when it does, so I can say, "Ha! Told you so." Where'd Avery go?
Did he leave? I don't know. Maybe his computer had a problem or something.
All right.
But I appreciate it, man. Yeah,
I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm here for the ride, so make it happen. Dusty, make it happen.
Okay.
Chop.
Wait. Is this the make it so? That's my best.
Very much.
Yeah. Oh.
So, Andrew, do you have any stuff to show us today?
I believe it or not, I actually purchased 2 slab books this past week, and I've only gotten 1 in the mail so far. The second one, I'm actually more excited about. It's a 9.6 copy of New Mutants #1. That's a book that I didn't collect until much later in the run. You guys, if you're familiar with the New Mutants, it only ran for 100 issues, and there were a couple of annuals and a couple of specials in there. So I wouldn't say it's a finite series, but it's definitely a complete series, and it changed so much over the years, from the very first issue all the way through the end. If you guys have not had a chance to go back and read some of the earlier issues, and as it grew, because the book did grow, the characters grew and the characters changed, and the stories changed and the art changed, and it's just a fascinating 100 issues of comics. Probably the Brett Blevins is probably some of my all-time favorite work in comics, but those early Bob McLeod days were pretty freaking fantastic as well. And I do have a run of New Mutants issues starting with issue 2 on, and I never had a copy of #1, and I was able to pick up a pretty decent priced copy of #1 already slabbed. And I'm actually considering adding it to my list of I've got to get every issue slabbed. So,
No, wait. You mean the actual the entire New Mutants run?
Yes, the entire New Mutants run.
I could see that, man. That was a really good run, man.
And Avery, did I tell you the story about the guy coming back with those comics? I told you that story. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I could tell you guys the story. Do you guys remember several weeks ago me telling you about one of the other vendors at the flea market had came to me and said, "Hey, I got a bin of comics. Will you come take a look at them?" Right?
Yep, I remember.
I opened up the bin. The smell was like knock you on your ass type of thing. And I made him an offer. He said, "Let me check with my buddy." I came back the next day and said, "So what do you think?" And he says, "Well," he says, "No." He says, "It's not enough money." And I said, "Okay, well, what do you want?" And he said, "We don't know. Doesn't know. It's just not enough money." I was like, "I'm not playing games with you." And I walked away. But I knew in that bin was a New Mutants 98, which everybody here knows is the first appearance of Deadpool. It's a very good book. And there was at least
Was it a good copy of it, or?
I just saw it. I did not pull it up and look at it. I didn't want to bring attention to it. So I did not look at it in a lot of detail. There was also a Secret Wars number 8 in there, which is the first. It was the origin of the black suit for Spider-Man, which I knew was worth some money too, but no idea what the condition is. Like I said, when I opened up the bin and the mold woofed out at me, it was like I was really taking a chance offering him any amount of money. Yeah. Well, the guy came back this past week. Actually, it was Saturday because I talked to Avery about it. I told him about it after the stream. And he says, "Hey, I got some comics I want to show you." I said, "Okay, no problem." And he brings me a stack of comics, a small stack of comics he had put it in plastic baggies, like Ziploc baggies, and then inside a padded envelope, of USPS padded envelope.
Okay.
So like he's trying to take good care of them, right?
Yeah.
First one I pull out is Amazing Spider-Man 300, which most people know as it's considered Venom's first appearance.
Yeah.
Full appearance. He's seen in cameo in the issues before, but his first full appearance is 300. But it's beat to shit. Okay. This is, even if I pressed it, it would be down like a 1 or a 2 at the most.
Oh, so it's total shit.
So yeah, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Then I pulled out the New Mutants 98, and it's almost as bad, maybe even worse. Now, granted, the New Mutants 98, even in like a 0.5 condition, is still worth a little bit of money. Okay. Then the other thing I pulled out of the other bag was all 12 issues of Secret Wars with number 8 right there on the top.
So dope.
So I'm looking at these and I'm like, I know for a fact these came out of that plastic bin.
Right.
Okay. And I even asked him, I said, "Did these come out of that bin?" And he said, "Yeah." So it's like eventually he either found somebody to go through it, or I seriously doubt he did it himself. And they pulled out the ones that were, because he said he sold the bin to somebody, which means some sucker bought that bin without those comics in it. So,
right.
So if somebody gave him more than $50 what I was offering him for that bin without those books in it,
yeah, they got really ripped off.
They got ripped off. Yeah, and that's fine. And what he asked me was, he's looking at an offer on these books, and he wanted to know how much I would offer for them. And knowing they came out of that $50 bin that I was offering, I'm not giving him $50. So I said, maybe 40. He said, "Okay, that's what I need to know." And then he left. So
yeah, wow.
All I know is he screwed somebody, and he's planning on doing it again.
It's so sad
And
too,
luckily
because
it's
it's
not
like
me.
it's so sad too, because those are like awesome books, and it just sucks that it wasn't taken care of.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys know the first appearance of Mr. Sinister is shot up in value?
That's because of X-Men 97.
Yeah, dude, it just spiked, dude. I have it somewhere. I know I have that issue because I bought the back issue. Because I remember when I bought it out of the back issue bin, because I started with 240, so I started going back. So I know I have that issue somewhere.
Yeah,
it's like it's going for like $150 around there.
I always thought from the very first moment you saw him that he was an evil version of Colossus.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Always thought he was an evil version of Colossus because he had the same haircut.
Yeah.
And he had teeth, spiky teeth.
Yeah.
But he looked exactly like Colossus to me. I think that was
Yeah.
Silvestri drawing him. So
Yeah. Then they did his origin with one of those Cyclops and Phoenix miniseries, the Jean Paul Leon one.
Yep.
Where he Apocalypse made him.
Right.
Oh, I forgot. I wanted to show you guys something. Oh crap! I wanted to open it in a different.
But I need to go through my collection and like pull out some stuff and maybe get it graded.
Yeah, you might have some like pretty valuable stuff, dude.
Well, I've got a lot of that era X-Men. First appearance of Gambit, that stuff, and.
Can I share a site with you, Todd?
Yeah.
Guys,
Uh-huh.
I saw that Terry and Rachel Dotson had done an art book, and it was on. I don't think it was on Kickstarter. I think it was somewhere else. But they made the book available at this website. This is.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Flesk Publications. I'm going to go on to it exactly. But I was going through this list of art books that they have available, including the Art Adams one.
Oh wow, yeah.
This one is gorgeous. But
cool.
They don't. There's not a preview of the book itself. But
Are they sketches?
I don't think there's a preview of the book, but they have like hardcover deluxe signed edition for like $80. I'm like, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But this is the Dodsons are pretty awesome. These are some prints that you can get as well, but I don't think there's actually a preview of the book. I don't even think it even says how many pages it is. But I'm seriously thinking about, when I get a moment to order this. Oh, damn it. Sorry, I wanted to show you the Art Adams one.
Okay.
This is one I know there was a Kickstarter or something for, but and I didn't get a chance to jump in on it.
But look how good that is. God.
This is the deluxe hardcover signed edition. It's only $80. I think I'd go $80 for the deluxe hardcover edition. They have a hardcover the regular hardcover is $60, and the trade paperback version is $40.
Yeah,
I would pay a little bit more and get the signed edition. I think.
Yeah, sure.
I would too.
But here's some of the prints that Art Adams has with some.
Wait. You have to look at that. That's all pen and ink.
It's all pen and ink.
Oh my God, that's so good. Unbelievable, man. He just mastered that shit.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
He's so good. And his comic stuff, even when we were young, was like super good. Like he's always just been like, now he's on a completely like different level.
Totally different level. But the other books, he's a couple of ones I'd never even heard of, but he's got some like a Frank Cho book here. I don't know who Jeffrey Allen Love is.
I follow him. His stuff's pretty cool.
He does have the Bruce Timm Naughty and Nice hardcover.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Art of the Elf Quest, those look good. Tyler Johnson, I don't think I've ever heard. Gary Giannani, I've heard of him. But there's some really, really pretty art books.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
FleskPublications.com is the name of the site.
Never heard of these people before in my life.
I think they're like a more high-end book, quality books, but they've only been around since 2002. But some of these books just look gorgeous. And as an art fan, this is like mana to a lot of us, I know.
Yeah.
When you're done with that, can I show you guys something I actually wanted to... Well, when you're done with that, I wanted to show you something.
Yeah, sure.
Some of these I've never heard of, the artist, but some really gorgeous stuff. So okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. But I came across that and thought I'd share it with you guys because I know the love of the art is there.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share my screen real quick, all right?
Okay.
Because I actually want to get you. Actually, Andrew, I want to get your opinion on this.
Sure.
Because I respect you as a comic book professional and a true connoisseur of the art. Can you help me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Start with my cam. All right. How do I start? Do you guys see me? See my face?
Yep. And we see your face, and we see. Well, you're sharing your screen right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, how do I share my?
Here, I can do this.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So I was in DeLand last weekend because they're having a music festival.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't very good. But I found this place called there's this place there called Cliff's Books. And I've been to DeLand before, and I always walk by and everybody went inside. Well, this time I went inside, and it's like a treasure trove of like stuff that guys like us would like. A lot of back issues, a lot of old paperbacks, old gaming stuff. Just let me put it this way: if you grew up in the '90s or before, you would walk in there, you'll never want to walk out.
I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a couple places up here that are like that.
Anyway, so I got this. It's the new Savage Sword of Conan from Titan.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty good. I mean, I'm a fan of the old Savage Sword, and so here it is.
That looks great. Yeah, that book looks. Oh, it's a graphic novel, huh? Or
no, it's
magazine.
like it's an actual magazine with like multiple stories.
That's cool as hell.
And let me show you. I mean, my camera's not that good, so apologies for like the blurriness. And the Hyborian Age. And this one is the writer's a guy named John Arcudi, and
I know John Arcudi. Yeah, he's been
a guy named Max von Fafner. I have no idea who they are, but I just like the art. I mean, it's a lot like the old comic book, like the old magazine. I had a bunch of them that I sold to Andrew. So
that's awesome. I really John Arcudi is good. I don't know the other person.
Now,
but
is the whole thing in black and white?
yes, it is.
Oh, nice.
There's the main story, which whoever drew this really knows how to really like made the female character a total babe, which I like because that's what you want in a Conan novel, in a Conan book. There's also like a short prose story, which I didn't bother to read, and Solomon Kane, who is like
Yep.
And that one is by story and art Patrick Zurcher. And apparently they have like 3 separate letterers. I'm not sure why. But yeah, and
cool.
So Andrew, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I mean,
no, definitely looks cool. I'm not a big fan of Patrick Zurcher, but I do love the black and white magazine format of stuff like that. So that's very cool.
Yeah, this guy he actually had a bunch of like indie books for sale on his rack too. Like for example, there was one called Florida Man, which is he had copies of that for sale. I was actually going to buy that, but I didn't have enough money.
Was that Mike Barron's?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
dude,
I remember seeing a Kickstarter for it. Like
yeah. That's awesome that he had it. That's really, I love hearing that.
All right, turning off my camera now. So
yeah, no worries.
But this place was amazing. I mean, a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, a lot of really cool old role playing stuff. Like we're talking like old '90s like World of Darkness stuff there too. A lot of old books. I mean, they had a wall of nothing but those old DAW paperbacks.
Oh yeah.
Like those tiny little airport novels you could get. They're like Barbarians or like Assassins, like Remo Williams, that sort of stuff. A lot of old comics, real treasure trove. And I liked the Conan. I mean, I read it, and I liked it because it just felt like, because I actually read about this, is that like Titan Comics, I think they're owned by the same people who run like the Age of Conan game. They hold the rights to it, like the movie and comic book rights, which are still, I think, not yet public domain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Conan the Barbarian has been in public domain for decades. But they actually did Conan right. I mean, they didn't. It's not. They took the rights back from Marvel. It wasn't, and it was like old-fashioned Conan, the way it was supposed to be. And I'm happy because there's still like one of my old comic book heroes who hasn't been totally warped.
You mean Conan?
Yeah, I mean.
And then you weren't reading some of the Marvel books where he went to the future and joined the Avengers.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You're giving me.
No, don't do that to him, Andrew. It's true, but
I mean, I'm talking about like the more recent stuff where if we left it in the hands of like people like, say, Tom King, he turned out to be a post-op trans guy, trans girl, or whatever. Which I could actually see these guys doing, because apparently there's actually either a Conan movie or a TV series in the works, which is cool because I mean, I saw look, the original Schwarzenegger movie is just a classic, I mean, the Conan Destroyer, not so much. You could tell like they really cut the budget there. But seeing Wilt Chamberlain as like a barbarian warrior. That's kind of makes it
fun. Yeah.
But the one they made with Jason Momoa, back a few years, like a decade ago, it was perfectly cast. He looks like Conan, but the story was shit.
Yeah.
And the funny story about that is, when he was doing Game of Thrones, there's an episode in one of the episodes. There's a scene in one of the episodes where he's basically doing a sword fight with one of his barbarian followers. He specifically asked the producer, the director, to put that in there. Basically be his audition tape for the Conan movie, which I thought was really nice.
I didn't know that.
And I don't know. I mean, and there's supposed to be a Conan series on Amazon, but it got canned because the person who took it over said it was toxic masculinity, which is kind of the whole point. But the funny story is that they took the money they were going to use for that, and they routed it towards Ring of Power, among other things. And the guy who was supposed to be the showrunner for it went off to HBO and did House of the Dragon. So things work out in the end, I suppose.
There you go.
So Anthony, do you think that's going to be worth anything in 20 years from now?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Stuff nowadays is mass produced to the point where it won't be. It's not. I don't think there's first appearances of any specific characters. It might even be reprint of other stories. So probably not. Enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it for what you have, and enjoy it. Don't worry about whether or not it's going to be worth something in the future.
Well, one thing I do enjoy is the fact is those old Savage Sword Conans from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I remember reading a bunch of those when I was a kid. I found them in a secondhand store in the town of New Hampshire where I was going to high school. I went to boarding school. I was a boarding school kid in New Hampshire, and I remember reading them, and remember these old magazines. The ink would always stain your fingers. You would touch it and you walk away and it's why is it? What's all this shit on my fingertips? And I like the fact that with this one, it was actually high quality paper and ink, so it doesn't, come off. I don't know. I mean, I just
I'm a super fan of the old school black and white. Was it Epic? Was it Epic that put that stuff out?
No.
No.
Who was it that put out the
black and white Conans were the magazines.
Yeah.
That wasn't Epic. That was Marvel, but it was through a different company.
Right. Okay. It wasn't like Eclipse.
It wasn't Epic. No. All right. 2 things I wanted to bring up. Has anybody seen the trailer for Transformers 1?
We discussed
Yeah.
that.
Well, we talked about it. We pulled it up, and I bitched and complained for a while.
I think it looks cute. I think kids are going to love it. I think hardcore fans are absolutely going to hate it. But, they're trying to reach new generations, new audiences, and that's what they do. And the other thing I wanted to say is, Todd, I have scrolled through this PDF multiple times, and I only have one thing to say to you.
All right, hit me with it. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah?
I absolutely freaking fucking fantastic.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
But I do have a question.
Yeah.
One page has 2 panels. I don't remember the page number. I have to actually look. You got the double page splash, which isn't done.
Right.
You had the page after that, which absolutely looks brilliant.
Okay.
It's probably all Avery.
Totally. Avery's killing it. Yeah.
Then there's a page after that, which hasn't been done. And then there's a page after that. That page has 1 panel at the top, 3 panels in the middle, and 1 panel at the bottom. The 3rd and 4th panel.
I don't remember. Hold on, let me pull it up because I don't.
Okay.
I have no
I don't know
idea
what page number it is. I don't know.
Hold on for a second.
I think it's 9 of 19.
Okay.
That's what the PDF says. 9 of 19.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up so I know what you're talking about. 9 of 19. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yep.
The character in panel 3.
Yes.
Is that the same character in panel 4? It's the girl. Are they?
It is. I know the face it's a little off. I know.
It's not a little off. It doesn't look anything like the character from the panel before.
I know.
I mean, it looks like a completely different. It looks like a younger character. It doesn't.
I know. I mean, I don't want to.
I'll be honest with you. I like both faces. Both faces look great, but it's not the same character.
For some reason, I've had like her. I mean, and I don't. We'll talk about it offline. I don't want to say anything. Artistically, it's been she's been a challenge for me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I'm glad you dig it so far.
Well, I kept having to re-scroll through, going, "Is there another girl in here somewhere?" Is because I don't see anybody else in the background because the character, the faces, it's like when I look at it, it's like the middle panel. That's the chick from Eon Flux.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And then the girl next to it is like a younger, like Boom Boom from X-Force.
I can see that. The colorist will fix it. It's fine. We'll fix it in post, Andrew.
Okay.
Let's not say anything that'll make me redraw
it. Todd's so tired.
I'm so beat, dude. I'm so tired.
I've already bullied him into redrawing one page.
He did. Yeah. Avery was like Avery. Flint. I don't know if you were here for it, but Avery. There was one panel, and Avery said, "In all the years I've known you," he said, "Was it in the 30 years I've known you? That is literally the worst drawing you have ever done."
Oh.
And I was like, it's not that bad. He was like, you have to fix it now. And I was like, okay, fine.
I was like your McFarlane tracers when we were 14 were better.
Oh God, it's painful.
Oh wow. Oh, so you guys want to see the one book that I did get? It's one of these random things that I see, and it just looks, in my mind, looks gorgeous. So I got a bid on it, and I won it. And this is Death of the Venomverse, issue number 5 from Marvel Comics from 2023. This is the Justin. Hold on a second. The Kendrick Kunka Lim cover.
Okay.
This is the Virgin cover from Unknown Comics, but it's Ileana.
Hold on, let me. Oh, she's
Ileana as with a Venom symbiote.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
I know.
She's one of my, she's one of my all-time favorite characters.
Oh yeah. She's gorgeous. They have done her well in the last several years, but her as a Venom with his Venom symbiote.
See, I have to admit that would be a cover that I would be like, yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, she was my favorite character in New Mutants too.
Yeah, is she is that Archer?
What? No, not Archer. I just told you it was Kendrick Kunkka, Kunkka Lim. The Lim, it's considered the Lim Virgin Edition.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
But she looks great.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's terrifying and it's also really cool. Like sexy but cool but professional. Yeah, that's a great. That's
everything about it screamed, I love this cover, I want it.
My children are very excited to come to your comic shop.
When is that happening? Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah.
Oh, excellent.
As long as you're open.
I plan to be open. I do not know what time. I'm hoping to be. I put on my sign by noon, but at the rate we're going, it'll probably be earlier, or maybe even on time.
Okay, well we'll figure it out because I'm bringing a wallet like I normally do. You're my one year, once every several months purchase of comics that comes from your shop. So.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the process of doing some major reconstruction in the store, and there's.
What are you doing? What are you adding, changing?
I'll show you when you get to this, when you come by the store. It'll make sense, but
okay, you don't want to.
Yeah, we're expanding the comic book section because right now when you walk into the store, there's literally 4 rows. The first row has comics in the front, in the back, and back up the other aisle. So when you go down the aisle, it's comics on both sides. Then the next aisle over, there's some tables with some comic boxes. There's some bookshelves with books and different things on it. And then on the third row, it's DVDs and movies and so forth. And then on the fourth row, it's half DVDs, Legos, toys, stuff like that. What we're doing is we're expanding the comics. So when you go down to the first row, it's comics down one side, comics down the other side. When you go to the second row, it'll be another whole row of comics, two rows of comics.
Oh, cool.
We're getting rid of the tables.
Okay.
Because the tables, underneath the tables is what we consider retail dead space. There's nothing for sale down there. You can't see anything.
I've always had a problem in your shop, and it's not like a Andrew shop thing. It's just normal. But like I've always had kind of an issue or a challenge with going to the boxes on the floor.
Well, they're still going to be there, but
yeah.
But what we're going to do is, how the fourth row is bookcases back to back, so that the whole floor to the ceiling is filled with stuff. We're going to do the same thing in the middle section, because right now it's half bookshelves on tables. So we're going to get rid of the tables, and we're just going to do bookshelves, which will give more walking space in between those 2 rows. And then we're going to move the comics we're going to add 26 more boxes of comics there. And then we're going to build a half wall in between the 2 comic racks where we can put the pegboard stuff. So there'll still be more comics there and other stuff. And then on the wall, the far wall, that is the wall books, that's considered dead space as well. Simply because we don't sell very much stuff off of that wall, so it really is nothing but taking up space for stuff that doesn't normally sell. Right. What we're going to do is we're going to build a shelf and then put bookshelves all the way down that entire wall, where we can put books, we can display toys, we can display a whole bunch of different stuff.
That's cool.
So we're and I do have I have a volunteer offered to come this summer and help me do this. Oh. But I really want to do it now. And he won't, his school is through the end of May. So he's agreed to come and help me out, and his dad has offered to let him come, and it's one of my regulars who his son, was a teenager getting ready to go. I think he's getting ready to start high school, and
Well,
I
that's
said,
really
hey,
cool. You get someone in the shop to help you out, man.
yeah, and I'll pay him. I told him I'd pay him in comics, but I'll pay him in money, real money. Fake
Give him
money.
store credit.
Yeah, well, he'd use it. Trust me. He'd use it on slab books, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, I'm sure everybody would use it on slab books.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a lot of
so
stuff.
that's the project that starts after you retire, kind of a thing.
Oh no, we've already started it. I've already taken down everything that was on the comic wall. Took down what we actually sat down and made out a plan. How many pieces of wood, how much construction material would be needed to create 4 new comic racks.
Oh wow!
And when I took the wood off the wall, I actually measured it out, and I have almost enough wood to build the 4 racks without going out and buying more wood, because I already have it. It was It was literally on the wall. Because what we did is we created a frame on the wall with wood, with these 2x2s, and like we purposely put in 3 spaces for posters, which I barely ever sell posters, so they were there just as decorations.
Right.
But we took those down. We took all the wood down. We measured it out, cut the ones that we needed to cut, and I literally have 3 stacks of construction material in the store to build the racks. It's just a matter of getting in there and doing it.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah,
that's really, really cool.
Yep. But we're gonna that one with a 1 row of comic boxes, we're gonna shorten it by two boxes. But then right now it's a row of 15 boxes on the top, and it's not a full 15 on the bottom. But we're gonna shorten it to 13 boxes. But then we're gonna add another rack on the other side with 13 on the top and 13 on the bottom. So we're expanding the comics by 26 boxes of comics.
Wow.
But we're going to shorten that row so that there's a little bit more walking room around it. It's kind of like we need to build up instead of out. And that's really what we're doing.
Oh, so you're going to build another row of boxes on top of the normal stack?
No. Well, when you go over to the comic section,
Mm-hmm.
when you walk into the door and you turn to the left,
Mm-hmm.
you got a row of boxes and then a row on the floor. And then the back wall has a row that way and then a row this way.
Right.
And then it has another row this way and a row at the bottom. We're going to add another row on the other side of that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Got it.
So we're going to expand the comic section a little bit more, give us a little bit more breathing room.
Now,
and then
are you going to have with all your graded books, are you going to have that as like a flippable, diggable crate, like you're going to have that in a comic bin?
We currently have 5 boxes, actually no, 6 boxes of CGC books that people can flip through. Yeah. Yeah, what's funny is
I'm glad you have a day job. Oh wait.
Each one of those boxes contains 25 slab books. So we literally have 150 in boxes, and then we have what's in the window, and then we have what's on the walls. So,
I mean, that's awesome and really scary at the same time.
It is. Do you want to hear a really sad story? I told this to Avery, and he was ashamed of me. I had a couple that came into the store, and they were looking at the slabs, and they found 2 that they really, really wanted. And I said, okay, no problem. And I said, I said, one of these was like 35 and the other was 25. And I said, I can always do better than that, right? So I gave him a little bit off and, made him happy. And then I guess while the husband was paying, the wife went outside, and she then saw the ones that were in the window, and she starts tapping on the window, trying to get her husband's attention and pointing to one of the comics. And I said, oh, this is one of the new ones. And I showed it to him, and it was like a $20 issue. And he's like, oh, $20. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And then I said, oh, and we have these on the wall over here. And he was like, oh shit, I didn't even see those. At the end of the day, they bought like 7 slab books. And I said, you know what? If you're going to buy this and this, I'm going to knock this down and knock this down. So the total that they spent just on slab books, they also bought comics, but on slab books, I knocked it down to $239.
Wow.
Okay, which was that's a good take for slab books for a single day.
Yeah, that's great.
And then after they left, I went to my spreadsheet and I totaled up how much those books cost me.
Yeah.
$237.
Andrew, damn it, Andrew.
I literally made a $2 profit.
Andrew, you son of a bitch.
But they were so excited about the books that were on the wall. They were like, we will definitely come back. We're definitely coming back.
Yeah, we're totally going to come back and buy another $200 of books that you bought for $198.
Oh, do you guys want to hear something funny? Of that, you remember that box of 25 that I bought?
As long as they're not buying the ones that I want, man.
Of the 25 that I bought that I showed you guys last week, the ones that I got for like dirt cheap, I sold 3 of those this past weekend. One was one of the Venoms, which was one of the ones that they flipped out for. One was, I forgot what it was, but I had a kid come in and he was like, I want that Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. And I only had $20 on it. And I said, now you do realize this isn't the original book. This is the facsimile reprint from a couple years ago.
Right.
And the kid was like, I don't care. The cover's gorgeous. I said, okay.
Oh, so you sold that already?
Yeah, I sold that already.
Damn.
For $20.
That was on my list of one of the ones to get from
No, you didn't want that one. No, you didn't. That was not one that you wanted. Please.
No, I want there is a set out there. McFarlane and Stan Lee did a signing for that book, and so there's a bunch of them out there that have that Spider-Man #1 signed by Todd McFarlane and Stan Lee, and I want it. And there's actually like a set. I don't know why, but at one point I guess Stan Lee was getting the books first, right? And you can tell like when in the day he was signing it, because the ones that are later on are kind of like hard to read because he was like, scribbly, and the ones later on were off to the side. The early ones had Stan Lee signed dead center, like big letters, and McFarlane is in the tiny little corner. And it's so fucking funny, because Stan Lee had nothing to do with the book at all. But it's so good that I'm like, I really want that issue. I really want that.
This right here, I'm going to share with you. This is the one that I'm trying to get a copy of.
Okay.
And you'll be shocked at how much it actually went for.
Hold on. Oh yeah, how much did $62?
Yeah, that's it.
For the silver variant?
For the silver variant, yes. There's so many of them out there that was at the time that was the super rare one.
That was this was the one that was polybagged.
No. The silver one wasn't polybagged.
There was a version that's silver and signed that was polybagged, I think. I thought it was this. But at the time I remember it being worth like $5,000 back in the day.
There was a time when it was, this was the silver edition. It wasn't polybagged. This was like what you might consider like the 1 or 2 per store type edition at that time.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
This was the one. This was at the time we were collecting. This was the sought after issue. And this is a 9.8 that went for $62.
Did you get it? You didn't.
No. I bid like 30 just for poops and giggles. I wasn't trying to seriously get it, but they're out there. But I wanted to show you this. I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. It's kind of funny. This person has a whole bunch of modern books up, and he had a lot of Superman, Son of Kal-El, #5.
Oh no.
This is the variant, the kissing your boyfriend variant.
Yeah.
He had 4 9.6 copies. He was asking $39, which would be $10 a copy.
0 bids.
And nobody bid on it. And then the funny part is the guy relisted it as $39 again. he's really trying to unload these things, and
Yeah,
nobody.
well, it's like a gay, it's a major relationship of a major character. So
Yeah. So
but nobody wants it, I guess.
so sad.
Yeah, well, no.
But you remember where they were saying that was like the best-selling book out there for a while, and wow.
Yeah.
What is it? Does Diversity in Comics said modern comics is creating the most gay homophobes in history?
What? Okay, I don't understand that, but all right.
Well, he gets messages all the time from gay people that don't like some of the stuff in modern comics, what they're doing.
Yeah. I actually had some friends of mine in New York who happened to be gay, and they couldn't stand it. It was like they took it as an insult because
it's all very stereotypical.
Everyone's an individual, so it's not like you can't say it was like a
but all the characters they do are stereotypes.
It's super stereotypical.
So
they were like, that's
so pandering.
Yeah, it was totally insulting. It would be like if you decided to have a Jewish guy in a comic book, and all of a sudden it was like all the Jews had like kippas and curly hair and like fiddling on the roof and shit, and you're like, well, that's not. Really
yeah, exactly.
Wait. What's wrong with that? Isn't that?
Yes, Andrew. Let's go.
Okay. All the Jews I know are fiddlers that fiddle on roofs.
Yeah, no, diddle.
Diddlers. That's right, diddlers. Sorry, Todd. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't ever supposed to tell that
you
story.
Stand corrected, sir.
I was never supposed to tell that story. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Avery and I remember a guy that got expelled from high school, like second week of school, got caught like masturbating on the roof.
Oh wait, that one weird kid.
Yeah, you remember that?
I remember.
That was on the bus.
No, he was on the roof of the school.
Oh,
he was on the roof.
I remember trying to explain to your mother that no, that's not bird crap on their car windshield in front of your car. That's...
No, disgusting.
That never happened, guys. I swear to God, we just made that up.
Yeah, everything is made up. Oh God, guys. Well, this has been great. This has been awesome, Andrew. I'm super pumped that you were able to come out tonight. I was like, well, maybe he can, but I was kind of expecting he couldn't because of the whole wedding thing.
Well, I did have some errands to run this evening, and one of them involves something special for my wife, and she doesn't know about it yet, and I haven't yet ruined the surprise, so yeah, I'm trying to be sneaky.
Okay, so it's a surprise for her. What is it? Just tell us. We won't tell anyone.
No, the words will not come out of my mouth because somebody will overhear. And nope. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to make it special. Because you know how bad I am about keeping secrets.
Yes.
Horrible.
You and my 4-year-old, man.
We have the same. We're on the same mental level.
Yeah, well, this is true.
I relate to 4-year-olds as well as I relate to.
I don't want to hear about
you guys,
your adventures with 4-year-olds. God. See, yay!
Wait for somebody to say something about my van.
No.
Oh.
Well, now it's only going to be weirder with Rafi driving it.
So I had a scam call earlier this week in which the guy called the home number, and of course he wasn't asking for me. He was asking for somebody who used to live here, my father-in-law, who's no longer with us and hasn't been for a while, and he's calling to update his medical profile. And I'm like, I've told these people time and time again, he's not with us anymore. The fact that you guys keep calling just proves that you're just evil people. And I started to go off on the guy. And I said at one point, and I've had actually 2 calls where they've done this, where they said, "We have your address. We know where you live." And I'm like, "Oh, mother effer. Are you trying to threaten me by saying you're going to come to my home?" And I'm like, "Please do. Please come to my home." And then I gave him a line that I've said a couple of times on my live stream, and Avery, he's embarrassed that I say it. And
embarrass yourself. I don't mind.
I had to cut it out of the video that I posted because I told the guy that if he came to my house, I would show him what the true meaning of living in a stand your ground state and a concealed carry state meant. And I went ahead and cut that out of the video because, you know, that somebody might think I'm threatening the guy.
I mean, that sounds like a threat, bro.
I know. It's exactly what it was.
No, he threatened you.
Yes. Well, actually, what's so funny is at the end of the video, he's like, "Sir, we're not going to call you anymore." And I said, "Good. You're a piece of crap, mother effer." And I cursed at him a bunch of times. And then he said, "You know what? Because of your attitude, we're going to keep on calling you." I'm like, "Okay, wonderful. You don't realize I make money off of you pieces of crap. So continue to call, you know?"
So funny, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, don't warn him about the buzzsaw. Just let him walk into it.
That's right.
I'm trying to see if there's a Punisher War Journal.
MK says, "What I do have is a certain set of skills I've acquired over a lifetime, skills that make me a nightmare for people like you."
Yeah.
Avery knows that every time I say that, he's laughing because he knows I'm a big, huge bowl of Jello. And oh, I got to tell you, I almost got into a confrontation with somebody. You guys want to hear the story? It's quick, I promise.
Sure.
So I go to Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. I had my latest visit to my retina doctor, and he did some laser stuff, but it was minor laser stuff, so it wasn't nearly as bad. So afterwards, I called the wife, said, "What do you want to do for dinner?" She says, "Pick us up Panera." I said, "Perfect. I'll go get Chinese for me first." So I go to my favorite Chinese restaurant. I go in, I order, and I sit down, and I'm waiting patiently, and my mind is in another place. I'm not paying attention to anything going on. And this homeless looking dude on a bike pulls up, comes into the store and into the restaurant, and he says something to me, but I'm really not paying attention to him. And he says something like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I just kind of, nod. That's it. I nod. I don't say anything back to him. I just nod. He walks up to the counter and he goes, "Konnichiwa" to the ladies. And I'm like, it's one of the reasons that I don't like retail is you have to deal with dumb people sometime, but okay, fine. So he asked the lady, he says, "What's your specials?" And she goes, "We have lunch specials, but lunch is over. We don't have specials for dinner. There are no specials right now. We have our menu." He says, "Well, what do you have?" And she says, "Everything on the menu is available." And he goes, "Can I have a sample of the teriyaki chicken?" And she says, "No, we don't offer samples." He goes, "Oh, okay. Can I have a sample of the..." And he's literally being an ass, okay? And she's adamant, "No, I'm sorry, we don't give samples," right? And then she starts to bring me my dinner, and I get up to leave. And I guess at this point, because he wasn't going to get free samples, he decided he's going to leave too. So he's following behind me. And I walk out the door and I see him behind me. So I hold the door open for him. And he says, "Thanks, man. Hey, what happened to your back?" Because obviously I'm wearing my brace, right? I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a conversation with this piece of crap. Okay. So I don't say nothing. I just keep walking. I'm not going to acknowledge. I'm not going to try to be nice to somebody I don't want anything to do with. So I continue to walk, right? And I hear from behind me, motherfucker, you big fat ass motherfucker. And I was like, nope, I'm not letting it go. So I turned around and I came back. I said, excuse me? What the hell did you say to me? He says, I was just asking you what happened to your back. And I looked at him and I said, none of your fucking business. That's why I didn't answer you. And I'm like, take your bike, you piece of crap. And he left. But I'm like, I was ready to throw down. And I'm like, I didn't want to have anything. If he did not pick up on that, it's his own damn fault.
You know,
But he left. He got on his bike and he left. And I'm like,
was he over the age of 12?
Yes.
You know, Andrew, I've known you for like the last, two something years now, and you're very nice and you're very sincere, and you're just a nice, happy guy. And I would pay a lot of money to see you get mad and beat somebody up. This would be a really good time.
It would be a treat, wouldn't it?
There would be no beating up. There would be if that guy turned around and came into my face, I would probably have my ass kicked. But I wasn't going to. No. And what it is, and you know what it was?
Oh.
It was the fat ass comment. And I asked my daughter about this later. I said, I mean, I know I'm big. I've got, meat on my bones, but is my ass really? And she goes, Dad, you're proportionate to the rest of your body. I said, okay, thank you.
You're proportionate to the rest of your body.
Yeah, but you're way out of line asking anybody, oh, how'd you hurt your back? Like somebody you don't even know in an aggressive manner. Like, that's whack.
Do you know what it is, though? They want to start a conversation with you so that then they can ask you for change or for money.
Mm.
And I know that's what he's doing. So that's why I walked away. I did not want to be involved.
Yeah. And
then he MF'd big ass, and I couldn't take it anymore. I was pissed. And had I died right there and then, I would have been okay with it.
You've willed all your comics to me, right?
No, Mike and Ayla.
Damn it.
They've already discussed who's getting what.
I usually just would lift my shirt a little bit in the right place.
Well,
as I was walking, and they
because Avery's fucking stacked.
So what you're saying is, had I just showed him a little skin?
Think of what's on my waistband.
I know it's on your waistband, but I don't have that on my waistband. I have a layer of fat on my waistband.
The only thing Andrew's got on his waistband is stretch marks. Give him a break.
I'm fat too, but
a little nip. MK says a little nip.
Show him a little nip.
But
But Andrew, you can now. You don't even need a piece of paper in Florida anymore.
Yeah, well, I know.
Oh, so funny. Holy shit. Well, guys, this has been fantastic. I love you all.
He was riding a bike. Get the hell out of here.
Andrew hates bike riders.
And you know what was the most annoying thing? It wasn't that he was riding a bike. It's that whenever he would pedal, the little baseball cards in his spokes would flap back and forth. And the little stupid bell.
Ding, ding. Ding, ding.
Hey, that bell saved my life many, many times, Let people know I was coming.
Oh, God. Well, Andrew, man, I can't wait to see you in 2 days.
All right, cool.
We're driving down, and love you all.
Are you staying in St. Augustine?
I am, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yep, we'll be in St. Augustine.
All right.
Somewhere in the mythical world of St. Augustine.
Yeah, I have a good idea where.
Well, I know you do, but let's not make it public. Okay?
I know. That's why I didn't say it.
Okay, so safe travels. Thank you, sir. It's gonna be great. We'll take some photos. We'll have everything posted. And yeah, I mean,
You want to see my tie? This is the color of these are the colors of my vest and tie.
good God,
It's shiny purple.
do I have to wear something like that?
No, it goes with my wife's dress.
Can I wear a
dress,
hoodie?
Her dress goes from like light purple to dark purple. It's like very shiny, fading.
It's actually a good.
Todd, just show up wearing sweatpants and Crocs.
That's what I'm saying. Is this like, is there a dress code for this thing?
My wife told me that we're supposed to dress up for the rehearsal, and I said absolutely fucking not. I'm wearing t-shirts and a pair of shorts. I'm not dressing up for a rehearsal.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the rehearsal. Like, do we have to dress up for the wedding?
We're having pizza at the rehearsal as the rehearsal dinner. I'm not dressing up for the rehearsal. Your wife would not let you go to a wedding dressed like a slob.
This is true.
She wouldn't allow it.
That's true.
So slacks and Crocs.
Slacks and Crocs.
With black socks.
There you go.
You gotta be respectful.
Classy.
Super classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to see my new shoes? I bought a new pair of shoes.
The camo hoodie, the camo shirt.
I bought a pair of shoes just for the event.
Oh yeah.
Nice little dress shoes.
Yeah, they don't. Look at that.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a blast. I'm very excited. I think it's a long time coming, and it's gonna be really cool. So, anyway, guys, happy Nerd Den on Thursday. We won't be doing Nerd Den tomorrow night, because obviously we'll be traveling and all this kind of stuff. So have a good weekend and love you all.
Woohoo!
And MK, thanks for showing up. Everybody else, thanks for showing up. And yeah, guys, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, and we will be back. More stuff coming up from the WAGME drop. More stuff coming up from Adult Fantasy. It's a busy year. Everything's good. Everything's great. Lots of partnerships. I mean, there's some good stuff coming, man. So stay tuned. More to come. And yeah, we will see you here, same bat time, I can't believe I'm saying same bat time, same bat channel, but it just feels right.
Yeah.
So just going with it. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you guys next week. Love you.